Final practice at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, and once again it was Max Verstappen at the top, completing a hat-trick of best times. The Dutchman with the fastest lap of the weekend so far at 1 minute 17.887. And according to the three-time champ, he could have gone quicker. Alex Albon was the first driver to clock a sub 1 minute 18 lap time. The Thai driver's super slick Williams at one point topping the timing tables on the soft compound as drivers began their quali simulation runs. His best lap just 7/100ths slower than the leader. This being his home Grand Prix, Sergio Perez was clearly keen to put a show on for the local support. Checo's helmet for the weekend has a fan-designed paint job with the words "Never give up" on the back. And he didn't. Checo's time for P3 was just over a 10th back from his Red Bull teammate. Lando Norris had only been a 10th off the pace of Max Verstappen after second practice. The Briton has been on the podium for the past 4 races and is clearly looking to continue that streak. But this time out, he was second best to teammate Oscar Piastri. The Australian in P5, Norris 3 places lower. Valtteri Bottas demonstrated his famed drifting skills at turn 10, a corner that also caught out George Russell. The Mercedes man finished P4, 2 better than the Flying Finn. A good session for AlphaTauri saw Yuki Tsunoda with the 7th best time. Teammate Daniel Ricciardo was another who shone on Friday afternoon. And the Honey Badger did some good work on Saturday. His early laps on the medium compound landing him a top 4 spot at the half-hour mark. His final position of P9, a great reward for some sterling work. Speaking after Friday's practice sessions, Charles Leclerc admitted Ferrari still had work to do if they're to match McLaren. And both Scuderia cars were in the bottom half of the standings here. Leclerc in 13th, Carlos Sainz 2 places lower. Lance Stroll overcooked it through turns 8 and 9, the Canadian taking to the runoff, and then later obstructing Sainz on a quick lap.
This guy, honestly, this guy, if that's not a penalty, he couldn't do that on practice.
Leclerc had a similar moment with Kevin Magnussen.
Yeah, Leclerc didn't know he was coming.
Well, I did warn you about it, and then you asked me about those extra laps, so I can't do it all at once.
Pierre Gasly took a spin at turn 12, the Frenchman late in his braking. His Alpine pirouetting, but thankfully staying out of the barriers. That part of the circuit once again surprised a few. Tsunoda going wide, the Japanese driver possibly expecting a bit more grip on the approach, and Sainz was another to misjudge the same corner, the Spaniard riding the curbs. Piastri also struggled at 12, and Esteban Ocon suffered a big lock-up at turn 1, the Frenchman taking to the runoff. Haas's much-anticipated upgrades failed to make a mark in Austin, and the American team were once again challenging at the wrong end of the table in Mexico. Magnussen had an issue early doors, the Dane quite candid on the radio.
I think one of the wheels is not on properly, so I'm coming in.
Copy.
Reports from the garage suggest the wheel was damaged and unusable, limiting his running in the final practice session. Only 9 laps completed. So Verstappen, Albon, Perez, Russell, Piastri, Bottas, Tsunoda, Norris, Ricciardo and Lewis Hamilton make up the top 10. P11 for Logan Sargent, then came Zhou Guanyu, Leclerc, Stroll, Sainz, Hülkenberg, Alonso, Gasly, Magnussen and Ocon.